Hello and welcome to the Center for Art in Woods Woodshed. It's cocktail hour, and for May we are going to be discussing Neil Donovan's walking stool from 1990. This work is in the Center's permanent collection, and Kenneth Hilario is going to be discussing it with us tonight. But before we do that, we're going to make a drink called Neil's Missteps. So grab a bottle of whiskey and some ice and let's make a drink together. Okay, so those of you who may be familiar with Neil's walking stool, it has been in a number of the center's exhibitions, including traveling exhibitions and publications, most recently in Pennsylvania Made in 2019, which featured works by artists who were active or continue to be active throughout the Pennsylvania Commonwealth. And now we're going to bring a new life to it by our discussion today. If you want to check it out, you can take a look at the Center's online collection database, or you can take a look and add your own flavor to this walking stool by taking a look at the Center's coloring book, recently published in physical form, but also downloadable on the Center's website. Okay, so let's get started. The inspiration for Neil's Missteps was actually two things. First, I approached Kenneth, the object lesson speaker, and asked him what his favorite cocktail is, and he told me it's an old-fashioned. Secondly, in describing his walking stool, Neil had mentioned that he starts with an idea and then begins the work and lets the pieces fall into completion. He noted that this is often inefficient with frequent missteps. But with this process, the joy of creating runs through the entire execution of the piece. So this beautiful story about the creative process, from experimentation to failure, mending, and continuing on, influences our drink today, and hopefully it will help that process along in each of your lives. So let's get going. We're going to start with 1.5 ounces of whiskey, scotch, or bourbon, whatever you prefer. I'm going to put that in, measure that out, and put that in our shaker or mixing glass. Next, we're going to go with hibiscus syrup. Now, here in Tel Aviv, the hibiscus flowers are everywhere. They generally look like this, but they close up at night. But they are these big, beautiful red, vibrant and voluptuous flowers that can also be dried and used in teas or infusions, and they have a lot of antioxidants, and we just happen to have some in our house. So I made a cocktail simple syrup out of those dried leaves, and basically we are going to post a simple syrup recipe here, but a simple syrup is just a syrup that's used in a lot of cocktail recipes, especially throughout the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. You can basically whip it up by just adding a cup of sugar and a cup of water, bringing them to a boil. If you want to add flavors or spices or any kind of profile element to your simple syrup, you just throw that element in as well. So during the boiling process, I threw in about 2 tablespoons of hibiscus flowers, and here's what we have. You chill it, it lasts for up to 2 weeks in the freezer or refrigerator. So I'm gonna measure out 1 ounce of the syrup. It's got a beautiful deep color. And then to balance out the drink, we're gonna add a 1/2 ounce of pre-squeezed fresh lime juice or lemon juice, whichever you prefer. 1/2 ounce of rosetta, or in other places I think it's called orsha. It's an almond syrup. And it provides a wonderful deep base to a lot of cocktails. It's used quite a bit in our household. And finally, you can add your favorite bitters to this drink. I would recommend something floral or sweet. I'm going with a rhubarb, but it just depends on your taste. So we're gonna add ice to our shaker, and then shake for a good 15 or 20 seconds should do it. Here we go. There we go. Strain it into a glass with a big ice cube on it, or a lot of ice cubes, so that it doesn't dilute and melt quickly. And then garnish with, you could use a basil leaf. I like rosemary for this drink because it just adds a really nice fragrance to it that brings it all together. Now here is your Neil's Missteps. Let's enjoy the discussion. Relax and hang out, everyone. Thanks for joining me.